And hello. This is Psychochronic, aka Psychorarity here, just chilling, and here we are with another episode of Rarity Talk. What is Rarity Talk, you say? This is my little vlog or podcast or show, whatever you want to call it, which chronicles the Canadian Street Fighter community through my perspective. And here we are with episode 14. 14th episode right here. And what are we going to talk about here? My history with Capcom versus SNK 2, Psychochronic, aka Psychorarity, discusses my history with Capcom versus SNK 2 from 2004 to 2008 and 2014 to 2020. My history of playing Capcom versus SNK 2 through 3 FGC eras within a 16-year time span, and its various experiences to me in the fighting game community, as this was the gateway fighting game that led me to the scene. The 14th episode of hopefully many. Part Canadian history lesson, part time theater, part photo album, speaking about the Canadian Street Fighter community through my perspective. Not including this intro, we have 6 chapters to go through in this episode. So, let's get this show on the road. Alright, let's get on to the first chapter of this episode.
Here comes a new challenger. You must crush them.
Interest and motivation. First time I saw the arcade machine was at the second phase of the home arcade in Mississauga in the game Skybox in June 2001. I already had a legit copies, not burned, of Street Fighter Alpha 3, Capcom vs. SNK, and Marvel vs. Capcom 2. My re-interest in fighting games at the beginning of 2000, quite possibly the only person in school that had a Sega Dreamcast, as everyone wanted to wait for the PlayStation 2 over a year later. So basically, I was one of the very few to have the Sega Dreamcast, and the engine of the Dreamcast was basically exactly as the Naomi, the arcade board for the games, and it plays very identical to each other. No home port where you had any errors. So basically, the porting of the game was basically arcade perfect. However, I had to move in July 2001 just to finish high school and lived in Tecumseh for 2.5 years. So Tecumseh, Ontario is just a little town outside of Windsor, Ontario, population 12,000 people, no buses, Windsor Transit to go through Tecumseh, make it impossible to travel without a ride as I live with my grandparents, resulting in me missing the first 3 years of the arcade era of the Street Fighter community. At the same time, I lived in a small little, kind of white boy redneck type town, and there was no interest in games back then. There was just no interest in games. Back then, playing video games, you were just automatically a nerd and not accepted. I had a burned copy of the game for Dreamcast on September 2001 when it got released. I was very amazed at the visuals, the music, the gaming mechanics, and the groove system. Felt like the game had matchup creativity along with utilizing the full potential of the console, Sega Dreamcast. And it was also a much easier game for me to learn in comparison to Marvel vs. Capcom 2. In my high school, however, yes, this is just my, teenage self in another high school, one of the very few minorities, you had, blacks, Asians, Middle Easterns. I was one of those three to be the very minority because it was mainly an all-white school. I felt like I was the only person in my high school that couldn't be beaten in fighting games. I don't care who the fuck you are back then. As playing video games wasn't really accepted and you were called a nerd and constantly made fun of. With the exception of Grand Theft Auto 3 for PlayStation 2, there was no interest of anyone playing video games in this school, along with being the only person in school that had a Dreamcast and the knowledge of burning games into CDRs, because games back then were like $40 to $60. You can just easily just download the ISO, the CDI file, and just burn it to a CD. And I had 80 games, so it's okay, why get the PlayStation 2? Come on, I was a penny pincher back then and still am to this day. I graduated high school and moved back to Mississauga in February 2004, and I managed to buy a 2-month Xbox Live trial subscription and 2 games, Capcom versus SNK 2 EO, and MotoGP 2 from classmates before and slash during exam week. So that was just my interest and motivation. Like before I did my final exams and then I moved back, I bought these 2 games, and like, you know, you might as well. I felt like, you know, games back then weren't really as, you know, big as it is now, but but at the same time, my brother had the original Xbox. We didn't have a PlayStation 2, so it's like, okay, I'll get a couple games for us to play. You know, why the fuck not? And that's the end of that chapter. Slightly 4.5 minutes. All right, let's get on to the next chapter of this episode.
Here comes a new challenger. You must crush them.
Xbox Live 2004 to 2006 and the first run 2005 to 2008. 2004, N-Groove Rock Kim Vega. This was my first team that I actually like wanted to take seriously. It's like, okay, I need a team to use. I want to use this team, N-Groove Rock Kim Vega. Aside working part-time Monday, Wednesday, Friday for $10 an hour, which was pretty good wage back then. It wasn't even minimum wage too. In a shipping receiving warehouse in Vicaire. I took the year off and played on Xbox Live during my days off, and I played on the Xbox S controller. So instead of the big original Duke-sized Xbox controller, I played on the mini one, the S size. It was actually pretty good. The D-pad was one of the best D-pads I've ever played on. So that's yeah. Offline competition was too far and too much money, as I had a 1-year Xbox Live subscription, $80. Costed as much as going to 3 local tournament appearances, and at the time I wasn't ready to compete in tournaments yet. So, you know, you started off as an online warrior, but as I stated in a previous episode, I had older arcade roots, as I came from the arcade nobody ever even heard of, called Wizard's Castle, that got shut down in 1996. Signed up on the Shoryuken forums in May 2004, first time ever posting on a message board along with the first community I've ever joined. I was 18 at the time. So I also had a GameFAQs account, but apparently Shoryuken was where all the competition was. GameFAQs, not really. It was all like casual talk, and like the lack of competition was pretty embarrassing in GameFAQs. So Shoryuken is where all the online matchmaking was at the time. Facing actual people, even though it's online instead of alone in arcade mode, going through months of character groove crisis, eventually choosing Raiden on my team, as I like to use the weird oddball character. What are we going to look at? A video. In fact, I'm going to download this video, and I'm going to download it. Don't need to watch it on a browser because it's too low. Too small. Let me just... Yeah. Alright, oops. Oop. And we'll just stretch this out a bit. Alright, so this is the match. So I'm facing, in this video, I'm facing Biggest 2002, who happens to be an OG from Houston, Texas. Top player for OG from Houston, Texas. And this is the match that clearly one of my best online Xbox Live matches, but at the same time, it's like this match made me want to use Raiden in this game.
Next location is Osaka. Live and let die. Fight! is about to explode. Fight! Wow, they came out with a sneaky surprise attack at the start of the round. Wow, they came out with a sneaky surprise attack at the start of the round. This is gonna be a match to remember. Fight! This battle is about to explode. Fight! Wow, they came out with a sneaky surprise attack. Combination attack. That's what we like to call KO. I am Raiden. Go for broke. Fight! That's what we like to
Alright. That was the first time I got my fence painted on. That was my first time getting showed. And that was the first time I churned the butter. So that match made me realize, yo, I'm going to use Raiden full time in this game. I don't give a fuck. I'm one of those few people with character loyalty, and this was one of them. Online footage and tournaments hosted by JustDefend.com. So what do we have here? JustDefend.com was basically the website of the Xbox Live community, the CVS2 EO Xbox Live community. This is an archive of it. So this site is dedicated to bring you Capcom vs SNK2 EO videos of matches played on Xbox Live. And yeah, so this was basically like the online community of it. And basically, like, I started off as an online warrior with older arcade roots that was not ready to go to tournaments yet, which will be explained later on in the storyline. So yeah, so they had, Friday night tournaments, they had weekly tournaments, they had, some cash prize tournaments, they had match videos, a chat room, frame data, misc vids, and yeah, basically like everything, even some of my matches. So basically it was just the Xbox Live community. And why do I have a YouTube link here? Don't need to play the whole video. I managed to archive everything that JustDefend.com ever released. So basically, yes, it's 3 hours, almost 3.5 hours, and might as well. Capcom vs SNK2 random batch of Xbox Live matches from JustDefend.com circa 2005 to 2006. And you got the entire list of everything that this site has ever released, and I managed to archive it and compilate that in one video and upload it like years later. So y'all should thank me for uploading this shit and archiving this shit. So there you go. Netcode had so much delay that it's near impossible to get a good connection. Input delay and mid-match pausing was very common. As you guys don't know, that this is the first fighting game, at least outside of Japan, that's on a console with net play in it. And this is the first time's a charm. Online back then was not really keen. On top of arcades, people were always arcade perfect and shit like that. So CVS2 EO, it was very hard to get, depending on your area, it was very hard to get access, to the game and an Xbox. It really did depend. Every match was a ranked match. There was no player match or any type of match that affects player rankings that didn't exist until Super Turbo HD Remix in 2008. All Capcom fighting games on Xbox Live, Capcom vs. SNK 2 EO, Hyper Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, all had the exact same netcode, matchmaking, and menu interface. And I'm just going to play only a couple seconds of this video. This is not my video. Alright, so this is, when you click on network mode, it will tell you to sign into your gamer tag. So this was the menu. Everyone did OptiMatch. The quick match really didn't work. And then create match, you had your friends list, player list of all the recent players that you played, the rankings, online status. You can go on online or invisible mode and sign out. Alright. Weekly rankings. Just playing a few seconds, not even a minute or two of this, just to give you the interface of Xbox Live. Alright. You had the ability to save as much as 10 replays in comparison to PS2, Dreamcast, or GameCube, where the maximum amount of replays you can save is 3. So every time, if you were to play a match and you were to quit the match, it will give you the option to save that replay, which was very convenient because capture cards, not many people had capture cards to do live, live recordings. So I felt like that was very good. This was a small fraction of near average to great players that played the game online and go to major tournaments or at least support their local scene. Cali Power, aka Alex Valle, aka the Michael Jordan of American Street Fighter. When they did the first Evo, when they had this game, he did get top 8. So it's like, okay. Bucktooth, where is it? Dallas, Texas, and Seattle, Washington, and I think somewhere within like California, I don't know, NorCal or SoCal. I know he's placed top 8 4 times at Evo for CVS2. Legendary Goku from San Antonio, Texas, who did run JustDefend.com. Smooth Cat, he's from Boston, Massachusetts. Team Hate, in my opinion, the best player that started off online and actually went to offline tournaments, because I know he did get second at an Evo East 2006. He went to my home major in 2006 and he got second, only losing to Justin Wong, and he was one match away from top 8 at Evo 2006, losing to Kindevu and I think Kim Han, aka Kim1234. Gimme Them Shoes, aka Trent from Florida, who's known to use I forget exactly, but I know he's an OG from Florida. Dream Theater, aka Jason Wilson, who used to run Midwest Championships, and he used to work for Tips and Tricks magazines. City of Brass, aka Andy. He's from Brooklyn, to be exact, New York. He runs Defend the North, and he used to run the Road to Evo tournaments, where if you won the tournament, you got a ticket to Evo. DJ B13, he's from Hawaii, and I know he used to do a lot of combo videos and combo exhibitions both in CVS2 and Marvel 2. Mr. SNK, he used to live in New Jersey, but now he lives in Arizona, and I always knew him as a P-Groove person, but I know he did flourish in Street Fighter 4. I know he mained E-Honda, and There was a Super Battle Opera qualifier where he teamed up with Latif, and they eventually won the spot, but they couldn't make it, so it was handed down to the second place team, which was F Champ and Mike Ross. So, Mr. SNK, yeah, I did recognize him from Xbox Live. Young Have, another member of Teammate. I know he's from the Maryland area, DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia, and I know he used to play CVS2 a lot back then. Same thing with Chemistrin82. I know he's from Maryland, and I did recognize him from Xbox Live, and I know I've played him offline numerous times eventually in other games, Alpha 2, Alpha 3, Super Turbo, and yeah, I did recognize him from online. Biggest 2002, aka the OG from Houston, Texas, the video that you just saw of me getting my fence painted for the first time and me churning the butter, that was him. I know that he did get top 3 at Texas Showdown 2022, so that's pretty cool. Flo, he's from Chicago, but he now lives in California. I know he plays like every fucking game, from Soul Calibur to Street Fighter to Tekken, and I did play him back in the day in CVS2 online. Clockwork from SoCal, who happens to be like one of the known Marvel players, but he did play CVS2. I know he's primarily known in Marvel 2 for Sentinel, Strider, Doctor Doom, with molecular shield, assist, teleport traps, and yeah, he did play CVS2 back then. In fact, he was one match away from top 8 at CVS2 at EVO 2008. Snake, who happens to be from New York, I think he lives in Florida now, but I did play this guy a very long time ago back in Xbox Live, so it's pretty cool. I think I've only met the guy once when I was at my first Northeast Championships in 2011. So yeah. So Snake, I happen to he used to play like every groove, almost every top tier character, and he was pretty solid. Rick Effin Stalvey, who happens to be from Florida, and I know him. He always used Nakoruru, so that's pretty known. I know he's one of the Florida OGs too. Suavion from Houston, Texas. I recognized him from playing online, and I know that, if you live in a town that has competition, why not take advantage of it? And he did, so that was pretty cool. Sonic Boom SRK, aka Ashley Hernandez, who happens to be from Houston, Texas, known for K-Groove Akuma, and he was pretty damn good too, so I did recognize him from back in the day. Miami X Alex, I know he's Miami, Florida, one of the Florida OGs, and yeah, he was pretty much one of the best players in Florida for CVS2. I do recognize that, and I knew people mistake me we're brothers because we coincidentally have the same last name. So hey, Silent Legend, who happens to be from Oklahoma, he's primarily known for Dead or Alive, but that's how I recognize him. And Glory, another person from Team Hate who lived in upstate New York, so that's another familiar name that I recognized. Alright, half the online player base only using EX Groove, and some who only use EO Easy Operation. Those same players don't travel to tournaments or support their local scene, on top of refusing to post on Shoryuken, the main form of matchmaking. It's also weird that some of these EX-EO players want to be taken seriously and want legitimacy. Offline is not a privilege that many CVS2 players don't get to fully appreciate, but it better represents skill level better than online tactics and input delays on the Xbox Live ever will, especially a patched game that's ultimately rejected by the community on a competitive level, which will be described in the next section. Majority of EX players never bother to attend a local tournament. So, as I stated before in a previous episode of Rarity Talk, my history with Tatsunoko versus Capcom, you had a bunch of online warriors, especially those who used, one button combo, one button mega crash, one button special move. They wanted legitimacy and respect. No, that is not going to fucking happen. You got to get your ass offline. The same thing applies here. You had motherfuckers that used EX Groove and they felt like they wanted respect in the scene. No, that's not gonna fucking happen because, we don't give a fuck about your stupid little EX Groove chain combo bullshit. And, like, at the same time, you gotta understand, majority of the scene, either you're gonna play on the fucking arcade cabinet, to which motherfuckers cannot use an arcade stick, so they need to use a controller, or they need to play on either PlayStation 2 or Dreamcast. Any one of those two versions, and that's not gonna fucking happen because you have motherfuckers that play on the Xbox pad and they feel like they're not gonna play on, a PS2 pad or a Dreamcast pad or buy a converter. So there were people that exclusively did use EX grooves and, like, they wanted their legitimacy and respect. That's not gonna fucking happen. Get your ass outside, get your ass out to the fucking tournaments. Let's see how good you are without, a weekend P groove. I'm sorry, a weekend K groove, a P groove super cancel, EX grooves. You got to deal with motherfuckers that can roll cancel. That shit, it's a totally different ball game, online versus offline. So, yeah, you had motherfuckers that used EX grooves and they felt like, yeah, we want respect too. Nope, not gonna fucking happen. Internet viciousness, as some people who rage quit on you gets exposed to a whole new level. Anyone who were known rage quitters and trolls, if they somehow had a gamertag pics profile, that profile would be posted on Shoryuken, which would result in online humiliation. So, just like every in Shoryuken.com forums, they had sub forums of online, be it CVS2, Guilty Gear, Hyper Street Fighter 2, Third Strike, and there was a good games thread and a bad games thread. Hey, good games to this guy, you're getting better. Good games to that guy, yo, I want to play you again. Good games to that guy, I hope you do good at a tournament. There was also a bad games thread. Bad games to this guy because he was a lag abuser. Bad games to this guy, ND, normal dropper. I beat him and then he fucking dropped. But bad games to this guy, DD, dirty dropper. This guy beat me like 4 times in a row. But when I beat him, he dropped on me. So there was a difference between ND, normal dropper, and DD, dirty dropper. So there was a bad games thread, and the bad games thread outmatched the posts of the good games thread by like 4-1. There was so much internet viciousness back then. It was fucking like crazy. And motherfuckers would be called out for that shit. So when I talk about, people who rage quit, you better pray you do not have a fucking gamertag pics profile. Some people actually did have that, which was basically like the Facebook of, Xbox matchmaking. You put, your actual, profile pic of your actual face along with the location that you're located at. There were some people who did rage quit and they had a gamertag pics profile, and then you'd argue back and forth, whatever, and then this is like crossing the line. It's not like borderline doxing, but like anyone who had a gamertag pics profile, that profile would be posted on the Shoryuken Bad Games thread. Oh yeah, this is what you look like. How dare you drop on me? This is what you look like. This is where you're located. I hope to see you at a tournament someday. And I've witnessed this. At least 6 to 8 people who had gamertag pics profiles that were known rage quitters or trolls. Their profile would be linked to that bad games thread, and within 6 to 8 hours, that profile would be deleted, like erased, and some of them would never post on the forums again, even to the point of never playing a fighting game again, because it's like, well, you rage quit to the wrong person, and we now know what you look like and where you're located. So like, it was borderline viciousness. It wasn't borderline doxing, because it's not like we're gonna get your personal information of what what your real name is and where you fucking live. But like, it was bad back then. This is way before Facebook and Twitter. You had to do all your shit in the forums, and like, well, this rage quitter, he rage quit on all these people, and one of those people got pissed off to the point, yep, he found his gamertag pics profile, posted it on the Shoryuken forums, and then within hours later, out of here. You ain't posting shit. So, internet viciousness was way fucking, like, crossing the line. Downloaded and watched a lot of, Sorry about that. Downloaded and watched a lot of match videos. This is way before YouTube, using MIRC or DC++ Direct Connect to study and sharpen my skills, primarily Raiden specialists in Ichikyu, Sodom, Desora, and Video, along with links from various arcades, linked from Go for Broke News. So I just watched a lot of match videos and studied it out, and I knew Raiden was going to be on my fucking team, and I just studied a lot of videos. So those three people I mentioned, those were basically, like, I wouldn't say player inspirations because they also mained Raiden, but, you know, I honestly did feel like, you know, this is an oddball character. Maybe, you know, give me some time with this character. I can be good with it. Alright, and that's the end of that. No, not even the end of that chapter, but, you know, okay, not subsections within the chapter. 2005 K-Groove, Cammy, Athena, Raiden. I post randomly on a Dead or Alive 2 Ultimate thread giving my opinion on the netcode, and I get a PM from Jeebus, aka Dedesi Canadian, to convince me to explore the Street Fighter community. The community was almost 4 years old at the time. Another Mississauga user in the forums, not in our thread. So I remember that, and I said this previously in a video, it wasn't February 23, it was January 23, 2005. This is, you know, we talked it over. Yo, I'll meet you at Skybox. We'll play some games. You know, I have limited money. So we did play some games at Skybox. It was, you know, we met up at, I think it was like 11 in the morning. And it was just me and him. We played in the arcade for like a couple hours. Well, not even a couple, like let's say an hour and a half. And then we went back to his house and we played casuals. But the thing is, we didn't have arcade sticks. We had to play on the pad. On a PlayStation 2 pad, so why the fuck not? So that was my first offline outing. You know, so I actually viewed this as an act of desperation on both sides. In the side of Jeebus, aka Dedesi Canadian, he told me of how, okay, the scene was 4 years old, the scene sucks. Because, like, you know, numbers weren't, you know, growing, numbers were pretty much dwindling. You had some level of, I would say somewhat of a revival slash re-emergence with the scene because of that Daigo parry, and the Daigo parry encouraged more people to go out in the scene. So it was like, you know, we need another player in this scene. And in my perspective, I felt like, okay, I played on Xbox Live, okay, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. 9 months I exclusively played on Xbox Live. Okay, 9 to 10 months I exclusively played on Xbox Live. Now it's like, okay, you're ready to fucking go to fucking tournaments and see how well you can do. At the time, I was the only person to join the community after the Daigo parry and not a high school student. I was 19 at the time, so I started to explore the community a year after graduating high school in January 2004. Even though I'm a late bloomer and online warrior in the scene with older arcade roots, I came from the arcade nobody heard of as it got shut down in 1996 in Wizard's Castle in Meadowvale Town Center, as explained in Rarity Talk episode 7. So, how I entered the scene, as I stated, always, I was an online warrior with older arcade roots, and I don't fucking care what game that was available to be played, be it CVS 2, Hyper Street Fighter 2, Third Strike, Guilty Gear, I'll play them all, like whatever. I just wanted to see how I can just fare in the scene, you know, with very limited resources and very limited knowledge. You just don't know. You know, you could be a top player, but you gotta put in the work for that shit. And then you got motherfucking online warriors that go to one session. I got bodied. This is not worth my time. It's not worth my money. I'm better off playing online. No, I was different. Was probably less than 10 people in the community in both GTASF and TOSF, and yes, I say both little groups as two separated entities sharing the same body. If you are west of Toronto, you're considered GTASF. If you're in Toronto, you're considered TOSF, with Highway 427 as the line of jurisdiction. So I viewed that as, let's say, Raw versus SmackDown, if you think about it. was probably less than 10 people in the community to have an active Xbox Live subscription, as subscription cards were 1 year only and 2-month trial cards cannot be leveraged to current gamer tags, and I played regularly. Come on, I'm a broke ass motherfucker. I have very limited money. Trying to explore a community can have its costs and and its trials and tribulations. So there you go. Must relearn CVS2, as the version you practice at home, CVS2 EO, was patched and not accepting by the general Street Fighter community. Arcade Perfect is the competitive standard, with PS2 and Dreamcast being acceptable console alternatives. You basically started off in the scene and learning the game ass backwards, as mostly everything you knew is completely irrelevant. And what do I have here? An FAQ, a fact of the differences between CVS2 and CVS2 EO. Yes, I created this fact. It says here, by Psychochronic. Last update, March 24, 2007. So it took me a long time to fucking research this shit. And there was version differences. S-Groove charges faster. P-Groove gets a super cancel. P-Groove, you can build meters slightly faster. Characters can whiff an air attack and still activate within the same jump. Roll cancel has been removed. Added the EO easy operation feature. K-Groove got weaker. 480p versus 480i. Character differences in both versions. Cammy bounces a bit higher when her cannon spike gets blocked. Sagat, Cammy, Blanca's damages are 5% decrease, and you have mid-tiers: King, Dan, Kyosuke, Maki, Zangief, Raiden, Yuri, Eagle, and Rio's damages are 5% increased. Sagat has minor frame disadvantage and buffering in some of his attacks and moves. Kim's Infinite has been removed. So yeah, there was various differences. So whatever you learned, half that shit don't even fucking work. So it's like you basically entered the scene ass backwards, and you gotta relearn everything all over again, especially in a game that's slightly, 4.5 years old at the time? Yeah. You must transition from Xbox S-Pad to Hap Arcade Stick to Sanwa Arcade Stick, as playing on Xbox was completely irrelevant and non-existent. In my home arcade, the game Skybox had US parts, but machines not properly maintained and impossible to host tournaments. All the competition in space was in Uptown Toronto and Orbit Entertainment Center in Pacific Mall, which used Japanese parts. So yeah, on top of having to relearn the game and the right version, I'm going from Xbox controller to American arcade stick to Japanese arcade stick. That transition was not easy. It took me roughly a year, but it's pretty hard to do. Pretty difficult to do depending on the individual. But I have a lot of shit against me here just to even adapt to the community. Back then, and I never saw an original Xbox ever in any session prior to Street Fighter 4. There was no Dead or Alive 2 scene back then. Nobody wanted to play, Third Strike on Xbox. Everyone had PS2 sticks. Everyone had Dreamcasts for Marvel vs. Capcom 2. It was pretty tough back then. Any type of online play, Kylera, Xbox Live, wasn't accepted at the time. You got made fun of just for playing online. Online matchmaking was my only source of practice, as I wasn't good enough or part of the clique to attend casuals, and tournaments were too far and too expensive. $30 plus just to go and waste a Saturday. So yeah, unlike now, which is what we're in 2022, online play is now accepted and revered now. Back then in 2005, absolutely not, because nobody wanted to play on emulators because of frame skips and delays. Nobody wanted to play on Xbox Live because you got to invest a lot of money for another console and get the subscription card, and the online lag and delay wasn't very tolerable as it is now. Back then, playing online, it was not accepted, and you got made fun of for doing it. So, hey man, I'm a broke ass kid. You expect me to go to fucking tournaments every fucking, 2 weeks, every 4 weeks, and I have to it takes me about 3.5 hours to get to this fucking arcade, as I don't have a car and I gotta commute and take 5 transfers. I was better off playing on Xbox Live back then. First tournament appearance was at York University in January 2005. 20-plus man bracket, managed to get 1 and 2. Okay, that's very nice. Multiple tournaments within the year, in Skybox and Orbit getting 0 and 2, including the home major in July 2005 T6. 30-man tournament featuring the best of Canada, along with Empire Arcadia's first appearance. So, Justin Wong, Ricky Ortiz, Sanford Kelly, Arturo Sanchez, that was a big deal to us. That was a very big deal to us back then. Not many people, online warriors from Xbox Live get to experience competition in T6, which happens to be my 7th month in the scene. You're experiencing so much in a fast amount time frame. You happen to be fortunate to be in the right place in the right time, but you had disadvantages to go through. So that was pretty crazy. Alright, next subsection of this chapter, 2006, K-Groove, Rock, Cammy, Raiden. Multiple tournaments within the year, in York University, Skybox and Orbit getting 0 and 2, including the home major in July 2006. 30-man tournament featuring the best of Canada, along with Empire Arcadia's second appearance. All these monthly tournaments are just a way to waste a Saturday. So at the time, Justin Wong, Arturo Sanchez, Duran, Flash Metroid, they showed up for our home major, which would be my second appearance at the home major. So I would be 18 months in the scene, and I got 0 and 2. Ended my Xbox Live subscription because playing online in an irrelevant version of the game got frustrating, along with the game not being backwards compatible on the Xbox 360 and having to play the game on the Xbox controller even though I'm fully adjusting to arcade stick. So at the time, cancel my Xbox Live. Fuck this shit. It's too laggy. I don't have a fucking Xbox arcade stick. Everyone be playing on PlayStation 2 or Dreamcast or the arcade. I got sick and tired of playing online. I want to step my shit up. And that's what not many online warriors did at the time. Realizing the fact, being in the scene 2 years, that I'm not progressing or improving in the game, along with nobody wanting to help me, getting constantly punked turns on the machines, and tournaments consistently running late, clearly showing how toxic and unhelpful this scene is when it comes to talent development and player favoritism. So, I had to learn everything from Xbox Live. Nobody offline fucking helped me. In terms of the main players, the main regulars of the scene, nobody wanted to fucking help me. And I said constantly punk turns on the machines. I put my fucking quarter down, I'm next. No, that guy gotta go next. He a top player, therefore you gotta fucking respect him. Man, fuck you. And a lot of people did pull that shit off. That was not fucking cool. No one's put me to the side, yo man, you should be doing this, and this in your gameplay. Nobody fucking in the scene back then, GTA, SFTO, nobody fucking helped me in this game. So, yeah, it was pretty fucking frustrating. Only person want to play me and help me out in the local scene in this game was Fareed. K-Groove, Yamazaki, Vega, Sagat. He was the only player I would invite to my house for casuals for this game, as I felt unwelcomed in other players' casuals within the region, specifically Mississauga and Brampton. So, motherfuckers had to fucking make house casuals because going to the game Skybox, not gonna fucking happen. The sticks frequently break and they're not gonna fucking get repaired. So people had to make house casuals, and back then house casuals were private invite only. At the same time, house casuals, it was private invite only a specific people, a circle of people. The scene was not very welcoming to new players, and me being one of the new players, being in the scene roughly 2 years, ain't no one gonna fucking help me. I'm gonna fucking host my own casuals in response to this. I'm not allowed in your casuals, no problem. You're not allowed in mine. Good fucking shit. So the only person that would help me was Fareed, and I thank him a lot because at least, I have someone to play with that's not in the arcades, and I don't have to travel to the arcades. I'll just host my own shit at home. Starting to realize that I'm very good in Super Turbo, as I put a lot of time into a bare bones game that nobody cares about, and somehow more decent in Third Strike despite putting less time into that game. CVS2 is one of the main games I wanted to be good at. And yes, there was stupid OG logic back then. If you are good at a side game, and in this case Super Turbo, but if you suck in the main game, CVS2, Marvel 2, or Third Strike, you are not considered a good player. It doesn't matter. You can be the best player in Super Turbo, but if you suck in CVS2, you're not considered a great player. That's stupid OG logics, and whoever invented that shit is a stupid fucking idiot. So I started to realize, maybe my fundamentals and some of my basics in CVS2, it helped me get better in Super Turbo. So why the fuck not? That's the end of that subsection. And 2007, K-Groove Rock Tammy Raiden. Oh, only 1 point. Multiple tournaments within the year, New York University and Orbit getting 0-2. Skybox did shut down, fuck that fucking arcade. Didn't bother entering the home major in July 2007 in T8, as I was the co-director of 3 games. Alpha 2 on Friday, Super Turbo, and Alpha 3 on Saturday. And when I say I'm the co-director, I gotta be the person responsible to bring the equipment for said game, be it the console or the sticks. I gotta be the person that's responsible for the fucking entry fees and the payouts in the end. I gotta be the person responsible for making the brackets and the seedings. And I had to do that in 3 different games that were not considered main games during the weekend, and became an asshole bracket director, as tournaments never start and end on time due to bad scheduling. Does all games need to be 4 out of 7 grand finals and player favoritism? Aside the scene making the transition from arcade to console, nothing has changed in CVS2 for me from the previous 2 years, aside local tournament numbers shrinking as most monthlies can't break 16 players. So yeah, 2007 was a very important in our scene's timeline. We transitioned from arcade to console, as most scenes in outside of Asia did that, which is perfectly understandable. And every scene would follow the Evo standard, choose the best version of the game that of the game that of the platform that it's in. People played their Marvel 2 on Dreamcast. People played their CVS 2 on PS2. People played their Super Turbo on PS2, even though Super Turbo PS2 had 4 to 8 frame input delay, and it was just, a transitional time. And my time in CVS2, I did not improve shit. 2008, K-Groove, Psychorarity Raiden. Managed to finally get 2 arcade sticks along with recording software and host and upload casuals from my house. Brett Cave won for all the years I was denied access to other players' casuals in the scene. What are we going to paste here? A playlist. Alright, and this is CVS2, 5.5 hours. Every session that I've ever hosted, it does not matter. CVS2, Mark of the Wolves, Accent Core, Arcana Heart, King of Fighters 12, Hyper Alpha, Alpha 3, Alpha 2, Anniversary Edition, Vampire Savior, KOF 11, Super Turbo, Neo Geo Battle Coliseum, Super Turbo HD Remix. This is every casual I've ever hosted for multiple games, for all the people that felt like, they were rejected from the scene and, other people's casuals. Guess what? You can play in my place. I'll allow you. The scene back then wasn't welcoming, so I had to break the status quo of, I don't mind inviting, an online warrior or, someone new in the scene to play offline games. Motherfuckers can't get an Xbox, and majority of the games can't be played on Xbox Live. So there you go. So I hosted casuals for multiple games. It doesn't matter. Mostly Super Turbo, because that was the only place you can play Super Turbo back then in the scene. And CVS2, I managed to host a lot of casuals. I don't need to play all 5.5 hours of this shit. Just get to the description. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different dates from 2008 going into 2009 of me hosting CVS2 in my sessions. So 0-2 at the home major in July 2008. T9 30-man tournament in 5 hours with 5 stations with winners, losers, final 3 out of 5, and grand finals 4 out of 7 featuring the best of Canada along with Justin Wong and Flash Metroid, and I had to run Super Turbo directly after. So there you go. You know, that T9 was the final major of that era before we transitioned to Street Fighter 4. And, 0-2 again because nobody wanted to help me out. So, there you go. This, in my research, the top players in GTASF/TOSF for this game since 2005, not listed in order. In my opinion, even though I don't like some of these players, if you get top 16 at least once in the home major, in my opinion, you're a top player. And I'll give you that much. So, at least a couple of these people I did not get along with. Some people were cool as fuck. Some people I didn't even talk to. Ratio 1 Beatdown, who managed to beat Daigo the day before the Daigo parry in Evolution 2004. He was basically the best player in the fucking scene because he knew how to use every groove, half the cast, every situation. He knew how to roll cancel consistently. JS Master, who happens to be the best overall rounded player. CVS 2, Marvel 2, Third Strike, Alpha 3, Guilty Gear. And he did beat Justin Wong at the home major in T7. And he was actually pretty good in this game. Flightwing, who happens to be, in my opinion, the best Nakaruru in North America because he had something called Solid Ground Combo, which was basically a combo into Anya Mitzvah, ground Anya Mitzvah instead of Maya Mitzvah, and he was pretty damn good in the game. He knew how to just defend like a boss. Arcade Legend, who happened to use boss characters, also the training partners of Flightwing and JS Master, and he was pretty good back then too. I know he got like top 3 at a previous T tournament. I think it was T5, and a top 8 at T7. So he was pretty good. He was pretty chill too. Poke Guy from Mississauga, my hometown. Even though my hometown of Mississauga was consisted of Marvel 2 scumbags, white boy motherfuckers, this guy, Poke Guy, who's not white, he's Asian, he was actually pretty damn good in the game. To the point that he would be a one-man team in a 3 versus 3. And he knew how to just defend like a fucking fiend. So he was pretty good. He's gotten top 8 at least twice in the home majors. And he was pretty good. Nagato Lock 2, who happens to run GTASF, one of the people I did not get along with, and he had a nickname called Kurt, cross-up roll throw, basically a cross-up roll and a throw or a roll and a flash kick. It was basically gimmicks, and that was all good. I say I'll give him that. He's a better player than me, but we didn't get along. We just didn't get along. I think it was because of like egos and attitudes. So for all the times I got fucked over, whatever. Noodleman, I did not get along with this guy too. Mr. I talk shit about everyone, but I roll cancel out of the situation when the K groove gets fucking activated. Another guy along with Nagatalock who founded GTASF. Nagatalock was the content guy and Noodleman was the webmaster. I didn't get along with this guy too. I don't know why. He brushed me off and I don't take that shit lightly. A Vega Bison Blanca, aka Team Down Back, roll cancel, rolling Crystal Flash, roll cancel Psycho Crusher, roll cancel Horizontal Ball, custom combo activate, whatever. Ceroid, primarily known for Third Strike, a chill individual, has been an asshole to other people, but whatever. He was cool. Like he was an alright guy. Even though he played Third Strike, he did get top 8 once at a T tournament, and I think top 16 at another T tournament for this game. So I'll give him that. Dennis Wong, Kimbot, I think it's Kimbot. I forget what team he uses. I don't know what team he uses. I think I met the guy like once. And then Random Ray, aka RPG V2 from Hamilton, top Super Turbo player, and I know he's beaten me at T6, and he eliminated me at T7 for CVS2. I know he has a Rock and a Mackie. I don't know what other characters he uses, but He was the Hamilton OG, and he was actually pretty good in Super Turbo too. So, final CVS2 tournament in the era done in January 2009, a month release before Street Fighter 4. I'll just post this playlist up because I did record this. This happened to be the final CVS tournament. This is top 3. The final CVS2 tournament ever done in GTA/Toronto, whatever you want to call it, even though it was done in Hamilton. This was 2 weeks before Street Fighter 4 released. So, an end of an era. Never had the chance to travel to Montreal or the US to compete in tournaments prior to Street Fighter 4, meaning that I never got to see how I fare in the games in my first 4 years in the scene, primarily CVS2 and Super Turbo, not experiencing the environment in the rival scene in MTLSF, or traveling to the US prior to Street Fighter 4. I honestly felt like I was held back and my progress was severely derailed. So, I didn't travel back then prior to Street Fighter 4, so I got to miss the latter half of the OG era. So I never got to experience that shit. So I didn't travel. Buses back then didn't exist. Cheap travel didn't exist, so people had to ride. And obviously I didn't get along with a lot of people. So I felt like, well, I'm not part of your fucking priority, people. I'm not part of your clique. Even if I did ask for help and prove that I have a passport and triple the money that you're asking for the essentials of the trips, like hotel and food and gas or whatever, you ain't gonna choose me. I honestly did feel like shunned and excluded and rejected in the scene, and I was very fucking pissed. So I think you've noticed that in all the episodes I've done on Rarity Talk, if I have the chance to fucking bash the OGs like GTASF, I'm not pulling any punches. So back then, I didn't like my time in the fucking scene, and this was the one game I really wanted to get good at, and nobody wanted to fucking help me. So many times regularly going 0-2 in monthlies in the main games that are 7 years old, CVS2, Marvel 2 Third Strike, made me realize that there was no incentive of being a top player in the local scene, and possibly the brackets being against you. So yeah, I was a scrub. I wasn't even considered an average player. I was below average. I was like, in a scale from 1 to 5 at -3. Nobody wanted to help me, so it's like, well, you gotta learn everything on your own for this game. So there you go. So that's the end of that chapter. Almost 52 minutes. So there you go. So that explains that my time in Xbox Live and my first 3 years in the scene. My first 3 years in the scene, which also acts as like, the final 2.5 years of the arcade era, and having to transition to fucking arcade, not first 3 years, first 4 years in the scene, having to have transfer to fucking pad, to US stick, to American stick, and going to tournaments are very far. It was a pretty miserable time frame back then. And there you go, 52 minutes. That's the end of that chapter. Alright. Let's get on to the next chapter of this episode.
Here comes a new challenger. You must crush them.
Second run, commercial era, 2014 to 2016. P-Groove, Raiden Camiblanca. Retro Runback number 1 in February 2014. First CVS2 tournament since TTT Summers in August 2012. Now I can explain that because I completely omitted between 2008 to 2014, I completely omitted that time frame. There was only one tournament ever hosted for CVS2 in Toronto Street Fighter during that time, and it was in August 2012. So TTT Summer's End happens to be a qualifier, multiple qualifiers. If you won AE 2012, you got not only a free ticket to Canada Cup 2012 in Calgary, but you were also on the spot for Team Canada for the International 5 vs 5. If you won Ultimate Marvel vs Capcom 3 or King of Fighters 13, you got a Megabus ticket to Philadelphia for Northeast Championships 13. Now they did CVS2 and Alpha 3 because this was JS Masters' final tournament before he went to Shanghai for good. So what happened during this weekend is that he did win AE 2012, and he was given the Team Canada spot, but he did not want it. He didn't have time to go. He was going to Shanghai, and he was even offered that he would be given a ticket from Shanghai to Calgary for this, and he rejected that. They also did Alpha 3 and CVS2, and JS Master was in grand finals of those games. So basically, the best player in the scene was in grand finals of 3 games, and they did CVS2 and Alpha 3 4 out of 7. So yeah, tournaments are not going to fucking end on time, because when the star player happens to be in 3 grand finals, all your shit is fucking delayed out. So that was the last time ever that they did CVS2 between 2008 to 2014. It was just done once in a little mini major, which had a lot on the line for anyone that either played AE 2012, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, or King of Fighters 13. So Retro Run Back number 1 was the first ever retro tournament ever hosted. They had Alpha 3, they had Super Turbo, they had Third Strike and CVS2 and Vampire Savior. So I forget what place. I know I didn't do that good, but I did wanted to test out a new team that I would use permanently in P-Groove, Raiden Kami Blanca. Re-interested in learning the game again, as it's considered a main game at CEO 2014, and that's the major that motivated me to get back into this game. 2014, I was so focused on Super Turbo Tournament of Legends. I was also playing, AE 2012, and then having to transition to Ultra Street Fighter 4. I was playing Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I was relearning Vampire Savior. So I figured, why the fuck not? You're going to relearn this game. For all the years that you didn't do good in the past eras, you're going to try to make it up somehow in this era. Somehow at least achieve something at least once. So still kept Raiden, but used 2 top-tier characters, Kami Blanca in a low-tier groove, P-Groove. So I figure, why the fuck not? I've always been using oddball characters, low-tier type shit, but, if I'm going to use 2 top tiers in a low-tier groove, it's still classified as a low-tier team. Why the fuck not? 0-2 at CEO 2014, clearly showing me that I have long ways to go to get good in the game. Majors for this game is very rare, and there's no interest in this game in Toronto, as the previous generation naturally phased out and left and never came back. In order for me to even be fortunate to play this game, I must play casuals in the arcade room at the various East Coast majors I was traveling to. So, hey man, I'm lucky to even play this game once every, average 3 months. And there's nothing in my own hometown of Toronto in 2014 to help me get good in this game. Everyone else phased out and left. Ain't no one gonna help me. Oh well. All the CVS2 players from the previous era never came back, as they never adapted through the years of Street Fighter 4 and Marvel vs. Capcom 3, along with zero support of the game in Toronto, along with Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and Third Strike, but Super Turbo going through a slight revival thanks to Super Turbo Tournament of Legends 2. It seems I'm the only person from that generation left, and I'm still here to this day while everyone else is gone. 2015 P-Groove Raiden Kami Blanca. One of 6 appearances at GameSpot Versus for their CVS2 monthly in March 2015. First opponent being the OG player in Rai, K-Groove Mai Hibiki Sagan. What do we have here? A video, but we don't need to see it on Facebook because the resolution is too low. I have it on VLC. So this is my match with Rai at their monthly.
まあ、売る方ですけど。
なんかスト5のトレーラーみたいのを見たんだけど、
マジで。ああ、ネットで。
わけわかんねえ。ナッシュ。
いや、ナッシュなんで生きてんの。
なんかいろいろあったみたい。
いろいろあったんだね。さあ、注目の P ライデン。わざわざ。I feel sorry for Psycho って書いてますね。いや、やってくれますよこれ。ああ、さすがにあれですかね、レシオにケンサートとか自重した感じですかね。でもこれどれが当たっても頑張って、おすーおーよー。
でもライデン結構ピーグル弱いとこは補えるんじゃないかなとちょっと思う。
おっと今は まだまだ体力ありますからね。
いやでもやっぱ K と違うね、体力の残り方が、
まあそうだね。さあでもいい勝負してる。中断を実用に中断を狙っている。
ライさんあるよ。
まだまだライさん可能性ありますよこれね。同じような技を。来い。
よかったよかった。
さあこれ今ライさんを応援してる人はいるのでしょうか。
いや俺はライさん応援してるよ。
勝てるかもしれないからね。
チームメイトだったんだね。
赤塗りカードですからね。
これは次は結構
これ組み合わせ的には悪くないですね。ミスったか。あの距離のスピードはどうですか。入ります。
まあでも今入れてもって感じでしょ。
なるほど。もっと怒らせてから使うべきと。さあライさんが処理モードに入って押した
嘘くせえ。
見えない。
まあいやお上手。
さあこれはせめて怒らせたい感がありますね。あの技強いんだよね。
強いよね。
そうたまに出されると当たっちゃう。さあ最後の最後に出す。なるほど。
B ブラってそんなにゲージを書く機会があんまりないと。
主にぶっ放し。
ただまあワンブロで生スパコンとか
そうだね。
いらないけどね。
あれねブロッキングしても飛び越えちゃうんですよね。さあ
そうあれ受け身狩りしてもねもう一回跳ね返されちゃう。
なるほど。さあでもすごいライさんありますねこれ。
ライさんまだあるね。
まだあるね。さあ日本で一番下品なサガットきた。
それは言い過ぎだよ。
言い過ぎ。
うまいわ。
さああれは中足がいいんですかね。出た。勝ったのはライさん。
Alright, I got blown the fuck up, but why the fuck not? And what do we have here? Bracket apostrophe O. That means photo album. And good thing I took pictures of this place. So this is GameSpot versus Nishinipuri, Tokyo, Japan. So this is their Sunday monthly, which happens every fourth Sunday of the month. I decided, hey man, I want to show up. You know, I just want to learn some shit. Got to play some Ultra Street Fighter 4 at the same time, but you know, CVS head-to-head cabinets. This is basically the smallest and the smokiest arcade that I've been to in Japan, but is the most legendary because they have, you know, Third Strike, Super Turbo, weeklies. That should. It was basically like a fucking like godsend to fucking show up here. It was a fucking amazing privilege. The bracket, I don't know if you can see this. Momo, Gao, Rai, UWB, Tom 23. First to one, but double elimination, so that was a good thing. More pictures. It was pretty good to show up to this one, man. I needed to take all the opportunities I could get during my first stint in Japan. So it was pretty good. Dead cabinets. And yep. 2016, no team. Why? The only tournament available to play was at Northeast 17 in December 2016. Birthday curse of attending an FGC event goes sourful. Paid the entry fee, but wasn't put in the bracket. Given the choice of choosing my first round opponent, yo, you get to face either Boss or Justin Wong, and it's like, really? I walked out in disgust and didn't get a refund. I'm like, okay, whatever, enjoy my $5. So yeah, this is what happens when you go to a FGC event on your birthday. Something bad goes happen, and in this case, I paid my CVS 2 fee, and I wasn't even put in the bracket, and I was like, okay, fuck this. I was frustrated, and I kind of do hold that anger for some time. So yeah, there you go. And that's the end of that chapter, 12 and a half minutes. So basically, my second run in, which I would say the commercial era, so 2014, 2015, 2016, of me playing CVS 2. Very hard to fucking get opportunities to even play this game. So yeah. Alright. Let's get on to the next chapter of this episode.
Here comes a new challenger. You must crush them.
Second run, esports era, 2017 to 2019. P-Groove, Raiden Kami Blanca, 5th at Final Round 20th Anniversary Edition, losing to Knuckle Dust, C-Groove Ken, Chun-Li Sagat, and Jiran. K-Groove, Kami Blanca Sagat featuring Japanese legend Boss. Now, those two matches were not on stream, but the one that was on stream is me versus Raging Storm X from Texas. So here I am in a Kyoku Sanagi Nests cosplay, and this is Friday, so people are filing, and it's pretty early. It's not Street Fighter V singles day yet. People are filing in. You know, you have I'd say about 1,000, at least 1,000 people within the convention center, and this is done before the Tampa versus Atlanta Marvel 3 exhibition. So they did pools. They streamed pools for this. So we're going to watch, the whole 11 minutes of this fucking set. Right?
Be a match to remember. Fight! This is gonna be a match to remember. Fight! Following the art of the combination of
Very close match. Very close match.
The combination attack.
To victory.
This battle is about to explode. Fight!
Ready?
Wow, they came out with a sneaky surprise attack at the start of the round.
Ready? Go. Hey.
This battle is about to explode. Fight! What we like to call big damage. Dabbling the art of the combination attack. This is gonna be a match to remember. Fight! Came out with a sneaky surprise attack at the start of the round. Go for broke. Fight!
Clutch. Clutch.
This is Keep Rocking. This battle is about to explode. Fight! Wow, they came out with a sneaky surprise attack at the start of the round. to explode. Fight! As the round begins.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys can hear me, so I'm just not going to say anything until now. I think it should be okay, though. Because now I can hear myself, so good to go, right? All right, cool. So you guys didn't hear anything I said for the last match. It's okay. It's going down the wire here. It's going to come down the... Oh, actually, it's not down to wire. That was the last character. Psychochronic closes that out. Like I said, you don't see that team too often. The Eagle player, Raging Storm X, the team he plays. Like I know in Acho, they play a lot of mid-tier characters, like high mid-tier characters.
All right, that's final round. So I got 5th at that major for CVS2 and 3rd in Super Turbo. I paid $10 round trip from Toronto, Atlanta, 36 hours on the bus just to play some OG games, even though that Street Fighter V was the main emphasis of the whole tournament, because final round usually kicks off the Capcom Pro Tour. But, you know, I was there, you know, for the OG games, and it was on a head-to-head Japanese cabinet, so it's like, all right, that's good. You know, after not playing CVS2 for nearly a year and a half, give or take, so, you know, it was pretty good. 7th at Retro Run Back. First Retro Run Back tournament since February 2014. So I'm guessing that they did this in either August, because I think this was taking place during Japan Festival Canada during that weekend. So it's like, okay, I'm going to go here. I'm going to fucking do good in Super Turbo. I'm going to do good in Alpha 2. I'm going to get at least top 3 in Alpha 3, because I did win Super Turbo and Alpha 2, but I did not win CVS 2. I got top 8. Whatever. Like, I don't know what happened that day, but it is what it is. First at YumaCon Championships 2017. So basically, you're in Detroit. I've been to 13, 14. Okay, this is my 3rd of 5 appearances at YumaCon. It's basically a big anime convention known for a 24-hour arcade room and a level of, you know, mid to high emphasis on the fighting game tournaments, which was pretty good. So I figure, you know, might as well show up, and they had pot bonus there. So we're going to watch the grand finals of YumaCon 2017.
The bracket in order to take it all. 6 games.
Yeah, he's
6 games of CVS.
a long road. Yeah. No,
3
no,
out of
I
5.
kind of hope he loses to get this over
That's
with.
an endurance match,
You know,
right
like-
there. I think it'll be a couple
We're,
hours.
you know, we're running a little late on schedule here. Rick could just, you know,
P Groove, yo.
Not drag this out.
What is it with Michigan playing P Groove, yo?
I'm sure he will. I mean, yeah, they Stan Fierce is about to make it quick. Rick's still, yeah, he was doing better in the last matches against Raiden, but I still don't think he has Raiden figured out.
These scoops are.
Oh, okay, that's a good button. That's a good button. I don't know about that choice.
Throw kick.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, ready, go.
Guard in the skies.
Yeah.
And the spit.
Put it on his plate to do the parry there. Otherwise, you get chipped by the mist.
Oh man, the dirty mist. Poison mist. Hey. Stuck in the corner.
Oh, that's good.
Finishes it.
For in here.
Doing a lot of stun bar. Or a lot of guard break damage.
Oh, it's the same for here as it is upstairs? Oh, okay. I tried it. It didn't work.
Oh, but these fierces. No parry on the tiger knee. It's good on Rick to put a 2-hit on his plate.
Okay. Oh man, German. Got all these buttons to worry about from both these characters. Oh. Walking in. Psycho's feeling confident here. Nice block.
Oh.
Could have killed him, but you know it isn't the.
Wow.
Nice
How low to the ground was that? And another fierce.
Yeah, probably best to save the super for last character.
Her fierce
right?
buttons are just so good.
Oh yeah.
And they can actually link into each other. Ain't that just terrific?
Ooh, German again.
Very small. He could have got a lot of damage off that. Both those. I think he's trying to tap super.
Probably. He knows he ain't gonna do the negative edge thing for crouch medium kick super. So
this dive kick throw.
Oh my god. Oh, good parry, but I don't think he was expecting it to be going that way.
Oh, the delay.
Good throw break. Oh man, Cammy just too oppressive.
Now he's just guarding his space. Oh wow.
Yeah.
He goes. Oh, Rick with all the dash.
Oh,
no
come on. Come on, Rick.
Oh man.
All that style for nothing.
He said he was ready, but just not for the punish.
You probably have
one more game.
Okay.
Away from the inevitable timer. He's still got 6 wins. Ugh. The body splash. Tanaka. Man, the trips.
Ooh. Oh.
Feeling it. Don't. Riding.
Oh. Kafilski on the shoulders. Wow.
His face looks so weird in that win pose. Man, just jumping crouch fierce.
Yeah, he's got like a giant mouth in that one pose.
Jumping a little too far.
Oh, air throws all day.
Get sent. Go get him. Go
Right.
get him.
So we're about even now. Both got full P groove meter. Didn't get to confirm. Didn't.
And then they
see
traded.
that he should have done it. Yeah, well, why not? You know. There we go. Now that's confirmed. Oh, and guard crush is real close, which should be enough to just straight kill him if he gets it.
Rick's believing. Oh, good. He's getting him down.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
He finally remembered the jab pressure.
Ooh, Germans again.
And a ball leaves, catches the limb from downtown.
All right, now he's got to do it Blanca.
That crouch medium kick he scooped up.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Ooh, full screen ball.
Just do it.
You know, it's
You're not
dangerous.
ready.
Rick can parry and then do super, but he doesn't. I don't think he remembers that you can just do super at that point.
Hold
oh no!
this.
Here we go. Back to can Rick do these down parries?
He's
like
just
he
gonna
wants
put
to?
it on his plate every time. Leave it up to. Hey,
All right, good block.
You want to parry? Go ahead.
Ooh, good block again. Oh, not the best punish, but good positioning.
Yep. Oh,
there we
and
go.
see, he knows.
Oh,
he's
just
gonna
gonna
go
keep
for it.
doing it.
Oh, the one parry.
So
He said, "I'm gonna stop that." Oh, shorey to shorey bonanza.
So I was thinking what we should do is have yours be like the main monitor, and we'll daisy chain it to this.
Oh.
And then have your super gun go.
Man, he just needed to do a little bit more. That was so clutch. Gets the Psycho's kind of stuff.
All right.
Yeah, last round.
Yeah.
Pretty sick.
A lot of parries back and forth, I assume.
Yeah. Oh, they couldn't figure out which side he was going to go.
Oh,
the big bomber. There's, that's Ryan's 360 there.
Okay. Damn! Oh, he finally found an answer for that far fierce, and it was just to punch it.
Nice shorey. Oh, the neutral jump gets caught, and not enough damage.
Oh,
Not
He is a
enough
Raiden.
damage. He's got extra pounds.
Damn.
Extra health. Ugh. It's a stop sign hand. There was that safe distance shoulder I was talking about before. The very tip of it. Alright, let's see how Rick does in this again. If he can handle the dive kicks.
Yeah, I mean, it's a problem. There we go.
Well, that's first answer.
Right. Don't.
Yeah, nice whiff
Don't
and a throw.
Don't mess around with that back fist. Just parry it.
Rick's got some nice sequences.
Ooh, getting
going
German
on.
again.
Now he finds it. All right.
Finding the will to Shoru at all times. Oh,
And
autocorrect.
It's going to be a
Or
punish
that might have
on
been
there.
just done in the right direction. It's hard to say.
Good tech on the throw.
It would probably be. It could be both. Ooh, another German.
Tried to do a whiff tiger knee into uppercut, I assume. Just got tossed up right away.
Ooh. Damn. All right. Oh no. Flop kicked over him. Oh, coming for you with the Tatsus.
Coming at you.
All right. It's Ken has to win this or it's over. Sweep and meaty.
All right, Rick's
There goes
playing
all.
a little.
There goes all the guard.
Rick's
Yeah,
playing a little safer, but he's still bleeding off.
there's
that.
there's no way to be safe about about the electricity. 'Cause look at all the chip. Look at all the guard crush. It's just a bad time.
And there it
Oh, he could have done it. He could have just done super after the guard crush, right? Rick wants to hear some guile music. Oh! In the turnaround.
He buried it, and
Just
he-
like we saw.
The ST selects the
ST, turning around.
Yeah.
Goes whatever direction it needs to.
Psychochronic
That parry
is
was
gonna
sick,
take it.
but it wasn't enough.
Clean 3-0.
All right.
Definitely.
Oh, you should have been watching those ST, man. All right. So.
All right, and that's YumaCon 2017. So that was pretty good. Like, okay, I finally get to play some CVS2, and all the things that you're learning in the past is finally, paying some dividends. So yeah. 2018, B-Groove, Raiden Kami Blanca. Third at East Coast Throwdown 2018, losing to Boss, A-Groove, Blanca Vega Bison, and Nerdjosh. K-Groove, Kiyomai Sagat. Ricky Ortiz didn't show up, and NY Chris G got disqualified as he was at Dragon Ball Fighters at the same time. So, East Coast Throwdown in 2018, East Coast Throwdown was my favorite tournament of the year. Better than Canada Cup, because I was out for blood at this point. I got fucked over getting to France for X Street Battle weeks before because the flight, the airline got bankrupt. So okay, you're out $550. So you're not going to France. This was the year that I tried to qualify for Tournament of Legends 3 for Super Turbo, and I went to as many tournaments as I could. So I went to 4 tournaments at the same time, suffering a broken ankle. Now, trying to get to East Coast Throwdown, I did not have a hotel reservation because I'm always housed by Tony Majors, the person that provides all the arcade cabinets at various East Coast majors and conventions and whatnot. I almost got denied access to America for not proving, yo, man, you don't have a hotel. Why the fuck should we let you in? And I was basically almost going to shit a brick at customs because it's like, well, I usually don't book a hotel room because it's too fucking expensive. Someone on the inside always helps me out. So that's when, from there on in, every time you go to America for a major, you got to prove hotel accommodation. So I was basically out for blood at this point. And like, okay, I was going to enter CVS2 for sure. I was going to enter Super Turbo because it's part of Tournament of Legends. And I was going to enter Alpha 2. And I managed to get top 8 in this one. This one for CVS2 just happened to be a surprise because it's like, for the first time, you're actually in a winner's finals and you're facing like basically the best player in the world in D44 Boss. So yeah, we're gonna watch the whole set between me and Boss and me and Nerdjosh.
Your customers are your neighbors.
And
provide them with a gift for their loved one, a simple repair, or
like a race against
right.
local recording times because like I said, I'm recording these in 4K, so these are like huge ass files. Anyway, we are on winner's finals territory, so tweet it out. back in there. So right now, Boss building a ton of meter. Maybe that perfect moment to blow him up. Oh, he can actually use it right here. And there it is. Right as I say it, jump, activate, homie. That's all she wrote.
Live and let die.
Alright, good stuff by Boss. This match might definitely end like really quickly. You're gonna get blocked out of there? Wake up RC, yes. Right there. Punish him a little fierce. But Psychochronic does wake up ball, okay.
This battle is about to explode. Fight!
Nice RC anti-air with the flip kick. Psychochronic wakes up with buttons, gets blown up for it.
Yeah, I tried a super.
Oh wow, big damage for sure.
Yeah.
Messing with full cancel. Still, even if he dies here, he'll be comfortable. Now that's it. Doesn't get it. Doesn't happen. Alright, so Boss up 1-0.
Facing the best motherfucking player in the world. Not very often I get to play Japanese players. This was a great honor.
Alright, so Boss taking the first game. As expected. Nice RC Electric. Gets the early stun. That is definitely big damage. RC, all she wrote. No, gets grabbed instead. Nice there from Boss. Looking really good.
Live and let die. Fight!
Oh, nice conversion there from Boss. Gets RC Electricity at the wall. Great awareness. Look at the damage. Look at the damage. RC Electricity for meters. Look how much meter he built off that. Very cheap. Really got like, what's up, Lunar? Like, you already know what it is. You're old enough. Yo, the wax. What's up, Cruz? Trying to pop?
Yeah, what up?
Trying to pop off on the mic?
Damn, that's crazy.
Yo, you see this wax?
It's crazy.
Wax. Yeah, it is true. Like, don't get me wrong. The things Boss doing is cheap as hell. It's truly cheap as hell, but it takes a lot of skills
Yeah,
to pull it off. Like, actually try to do it.
It's like it's akin like
Yeah.
you know like doing the Angel Infinite. You know,
Yeah.
that shit is not easy. I think maybe one or two guys could do it out of the group that goes to the shop.
Alright, so Boss, at this point, you know, he just wants to whittle down Blanca's life. His custom does not do a lot of damage, but it stalls the match. It really stalls the match. Watch. He's just gonna bait him right now. He's gonna bait him. He's waiting. Max distance slide to that save. Psychochronic's doing a good job. Boss messes up a couple of setups there. It's costing him, but it doesn't matter. There's no reason to be worried.
Yeah,
And you see, even with the parry, you see how bad the parries are. Even if you parry, you couldn't get a punish.
You got dictated.
Yeah.
Damn, son.
Okay, get him out of there. Yo, oh. Yeah, invincible. Punish. Yo, he might not even get the last hit. He might not. Alright, so he has a chance, but obviously it's 379 seconds to the match, not gonna get that much life left. Oh no, he wastes his comeback back there. It's done. And there it is. Good job. Good job by Boss to take it. Too free, man. Too free. Like I said, like the skill gap in this game is out of control.
Alright, we're gonna watch Losers Finals, me and Nerd Josh. So let me find it. Alright, yeah. Ad. I have to go through an ad. Alright.
This battle is about to explode. Fight!
This is how you get into the zone. Hey Facebook, volume up.
Alright.
Nice parry started off. Nice grabs again. Josh doing a good job of working Psychochronic in the corner. Nice. Oh, doesn't get the super confirmed. That record was obviously super. Oh, wow. Very nice. Goes to the record grab, but Nerd Josh right there to defeat.
Live and let die. Fight! This battle is about to explode. Fight! Wow, they came out.
Nice. Anyway, Psychochronic trying to chase Nerd Josh down. Nerd Josh trying to catch Psychochronic overextending. Look at these trades here and there. Harry didn't lead to anything, unfortunately. Nice short super there from Nerd Josh. Nice grab again. And chip kill's imminent. Chip kill's imminent. Oh, forward fierce. Hey, see that type of thing happen where he just runs to forward fierce and blows himself up.
This is gonna be a match to remember. Fight!
Nice up ball there, Psychochronic. Still in the match. But Nerd Josh about to get meter. There it is. He has the meter. Wake up? No, wake up super. Would have been huge for him. He's got to live to fight another day though. Wow, you whiffed the grab. So grabs are proximity based. So you can whiff throws, you can do the one button throws. That definitely happened there.
Go for broke. Fight!
Nice uppercut there. Nice chest defense as well. Gets himself out of the situation. To the ground, Psychochronic still alive and kicking. Going with overhead smashes. Nerd Josh finally blocks the third one, and he's in the K group. Nice, gonna take some more risks to get in. Get that free damage while you can. Nice parry there, very clutch. Jump back, okay, good awareness. But gets hit by the short records. Nice again. Good stuff. Gets the chip kill right there.
I am Raiden.
I am Raiden.
This battle is about to explode.
Nice grab again. Whoa, wake up. Wake up records again from Raiden. Nice parry. Oh, it could have been huge. He's in the pixel, like, he's a parry everything. He's a parry parry everything. Can't parry forever, man. It's tough.
Live and let die. Fight!
Nice uppercut, staying alive. Oh, no punish. Felt like she just done it raw. Got a little greedy. Didn't get any punish to parry, and mine's content to run away. Great spacing on the spiral arrow. Just a slide for the win.
This battle is about to explode. Fight!
Nice stuff there from Psychochronic. Gets a chip kill, and it's a classic Sagat versus Blanca matchup. So crouching fears the game. Short hop the game. That's what you're gonna see. Parried the first hit, but didn't get the rest. He's actually grounded, so he could have blocked. Nice uppercut, he needed that. Wow, fierce trades. Alright, now Josh has a meeting. He might take a risk. Oh, so the way that super works, it hits low. If you're not blocking by the super flash, you get lit up. Definitely get lit up. So Nerd Josh gonna go up against Boss.
All right, and that's East Coast Throwdown. So that was a pretty good experience and one of the best tournaments I've ever attended. Top 8, Alpha 2. Top 3, CVS 2. Top 3, Super Turbo, and qualified for Tournament of Legends. I only lost to Boston Nerd Josh in CVS 2, and I only lost to Technical Monkey and Boston Super Turbo. And those two couldn't go to Canada Cup the next week for Tournament of Legends 3, so I was qualified. I was given 500 American dollars as a bonus. This was a pretty good experience. Like, finally, out of everyone in the history of Toronto, it's very rare for any Toronto player to get top 3 at a major in any time frame for CVS2, and I was glad I was one of the people to actually do it. So it was a pretty good experience, and I'll give a shout out to Robertson, who's been watching this podcast /show /vlog, made a comment. My man's chronic. He traveled 14 hours to a bus to New Jersey, only paid $2 just to earn the right to not only, qualify for Tournament of Legends, but face the best player in the world in a game that's made in 2001. That's dedication. So I really appreciate that. It's not very often I play Japanese players. I've played Kuni Fanata in HD Remix, the OG Hyper Fighting Zangief. I played Kusamondo at Canada Cup for Super Turbo, and he's like the best E-Honda in the world. I faced Kazupachi, who's the best player in Japan for Tatsunoko versus Capcom Ultimate All-Stars. And I got the chance to play D44 Boss, who's the best player in Japan, possibly the whole world, in CVS2. So that was a very good opportunity. All right. Second at Stun City, Retro City. Second at Retrocity, Part 1, losing to White R, who happens to be a local OG that hardly ever went out in the majors, because I haven't seen this guy during my first 6 years in the scene. I never seen him at a major. He would go to locals every now and then. Both pretty evenly matched, and he did beat me. But then the next week, I won Retrocity, Part 2, defeating Ranaku from Ottawa, who managed to get top 8 at a previous T tournament. I think it was T8. He got top 8, and he would eventually win Frosty Faustings in 2020, 2.5 months before the global pandemic. So this is a highlight video. Wait, what do I have here? Okay, this is a highlight video. Don't need to post that up, the YouTube link, or I mean Facebook link, because of the resolution. So this is my road to NEC 19.
Yep, he's doing a quick award ceremony.
Yeah.
Up next, switching over to EX2 Plus.
Okay, well, props to our top 3.
Yep. How you doing, Vic? You all right?
I'm well, bro. I came to see this, man.
All right.
Came right.
Yeah, I came at the unfortunately, I wanted to see a little more of it. I wanted to see some of the tech that Boss was using. We do get to see him play a lot on his own CBS2 stream. Anyway, third place, Psychochronic. Props to him, coming out from Toronto area. I think he's originally from Montreal, if I'm not mistaken. He's also trying to qualify for Tournament Legends here for Super Turbo. That's the main reason he's here tonight. Nerd Josh, second place, still repping Team Spooky years and years later. At first place, Boss.
D44 Boss.
And he gets the Pimp King.
Pimp King.
Yeah. It's like, what is this? King?
Alright, so this is a highlight video of the Retrocities. I don't need to post up the whole, sets of all of the Stun City weeklies that we did for Retrocity. So this is a highlight video of the first 2 parts that they did CVS2.
Alright, guys, good stuff. Vic, thanks for stopping by at the end.
No problem, bro. I'm glad that I came to check it out.
Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm excited to see EX2 because I want to see
Those somersaults, basically.
Yeah.
He's doing down forward
Oh, yeah.
instead of forward. Oh, nice. Oh!
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay. Somebody clip that.
Wheelie able to secure that win, but now.
Oh, they stared down. The 2-second stare down. Oh.
Yeah. Iron Cookie's gonna have to back up. You gotta get rid of that stun bar.
Oh, very
nice
job again. Is he gonna get rid of the guard? Oh, that's it. That's it. Oh, you could have super there. This is gonna be it.
No, Jack.
I'm scared.
No. Oh no, it trained.
Did they trade?
Oh wait, no.
Oh,
what? It trained. What?
Iron Kick would have got it.
Yo, what a god!
What a
I don't
lord!
give a fuck. I was pissed.
Oh my god!
Pause. I was fucking pissed off. And just to let you know, win or lose, if I'm gonna win or lose in that type of fashion, I am going to slap a fucking chair. Yes, I've been known to slap chairs, win or lose in that type of, intensity of a match. So I was pretty fucking pissed off.
It didn't train.
I am. What a lord! Kikuru! Oh, yeah, see, unessential.
Oh, get him.
Oh, okay. No combo there. Spire L so far.
Oh, I got him.
Oh,
very
I missed
nice
the super.
level.
Oh, what? Doesn't matter. Yeah, the hooligan saved his life. Is this it for an essential?
It's looking. Oh, he got him. Oh!
Wow.
Oh my God, Brett going ham right now with Candy, and they still got a ratio 2 Blanca.
Very nice parries. This guy is. Oh my god.
He's gonna keep doing this. Building bar when he does that.
What a guy.
Oh no. Be careful with your jumps. Psychochronic. Yo, only a true master. Oh my god, only a true master. Yo, we want to see it. Roll.
Oh, wow, it's going for that super.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Nice punish.
Oh no, he missed the. Oh, he missed the electric. Oh my god.
What's he doing? What is he doing? Oh no. What is that? Oh wait, is that an apron?
That's a chef's apron.
It is an apron.
That's the iron.
Oh, we got Missy versus Gaia.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Very nice just defense.
Yeah.
Ready, go.
Oh, Sharky.
Oh, very good just defense. Psychochronic. He knows the game. Oh my god! He blocked all.
Wow.
I am. Oh, he's.
No, not dead.
Yeah, he's not dead, but that's a lot of damage.
He just
like half
bounced
his
it
life.
while just defending. Wow, that was so funny.
And somebody clip that. Jeez.
Oh, he just used a power up save, but no
Yeah, chip damage.
stock meter for the super.
Case of Psychochronic takes game 1.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
he
yeah,
got him.
that's gonna work.
Yo.
That was a good.
That was smart. But level 2, ratio 2, Blanca.
Just ratio 1 your best character, and then ratio 2 something later. All right, nice confirm from Steven. Oh, no punish. He got the parry. It's on the late punish. Nice from Brett.
So he's buffering that parry already. Nice hit. Watch out for that. Yeah, the dive kick. Oh,
yeah.
Okay, could have done more. Okay.
Oh, guard break. I don't think he knew it was guard breaking immediately. And
oh no. Oh, DP. Yeah, nice call out there by Brett. That deserves a clap.
Yeah,
nice parry there.
That was a good parry. Off the forward dash even.
Steven's looking at the bar. Oh my god, one more. Oh,
Yo.
she's gonna die. Oh, super.
Done.
Dead. Oh my god,
Nope, not
still
dead,
alive.
not dead.
Oh!
What?
Oh my god, still alive. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Psycho!
Those were some height parries at the end, but man,
Wow.
not enough. Not enough.
Psychochronic wins
I was in
a
relief.
weekly event.
I was in
Steven,
relief.
good job, man. Yo, let's
Yo,
get the
look
player.
at Brad.
Somebody pass him the belt.
Get him the belt.
Yo, give him the
Give this
belt.
man the belt.
He deserved that belt.
Yeah, man.
Look, somebody give him a napkin. He's crying.
Ah, man, he feels it. He's feeling that.
Never
Take
fucking
a picture
won.
of him with the. Oh well, he's wearing that with style, with class. He's wearing it. We just need him on camera.
Let's get.
Good job, Brett. Well, thank you for watching Capcom
Absolutely.
versus SNK 2. It's been a great 2 weeks with the game, but next week, yo, it happened.
It happened.
Okay.
So, of all the years that I didn't get fucking top 8 at the home major or top 3 at a local and getting 0-2, finally, all these years later, I fucking finally at least won one time. So, I'm fucking relieved. And all them people who played CVS2 back then, they did not show up now. So, I'm still holding down the fort of the fucking OGs. Hold that shit. So, I deserve at least some level of fucking, legitimacy for being a fucking OG and fucking at least doing good. Despite the fact that I got, top 3 the month before at East Coast Throwdown. And finally, at least winning once, regardless of which era we're in, finally. At least one time is enough. 4th at Northeast Championships 19, losing to Dr. B, S-Groove, Blanca Bison Sagat, and Vicky Viper, K-Groove, Keel Morgan Sagat. So, yeah, that's my 2018 year, and we get on to 2019. P-Groove, Raiden Kaimi Blanca. First, again at Retrocity, Part 3, going undefeated. I don't need to show the whole video, but it's just basically me versus Neil Russell. Nobody showed up.
Or a can of genius. Premiere.
Don't need to show this video.
And closed. With an airtight seal that keeps paint fresh. Premiere. Paint without the pain.
Oh, okay, fuck this ad. Okay, fuck it. Whatever. I won that tournament. Just another weekly, another Retrocity to feature this game. Nobody showed up. It's just me versus Neil Russell in the grand finals. Like, okay, cool, whatever. Okay, this is not in my notes. Second at Full Fighting Madness, losing to White R. So, they did, Incendium Gaming, not Toronto Top Tiers, they did a tournament called Full Fighting Madness where I managed to get second in Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, but it was PS4 30th Anniversary Edition. I lost the key on mode. Second place in CVS2, only losing to White R. I think it's Sea Groove, Vega Blanca Sagat. First in Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and nobody wanted to play Vampire Savior, and I basically killed that fucking game in Toronto. Nobody wants to play me in Vampire Savior unless your name is SJ or Rick here. You are not gonna fucking beat me. So, yeah, Full Fighting Madness. I remember that because they tried to do a tournament like a week before at CEO 2019, and it didn't happen. So it's like, whatever. No CVS2 at CEO this year, whatever. And yeah, I remember that because after Full Fighting Madness, I went to a cosplay birthday party, got fucking drunk as a motherfucker. So okay. Second at Yumacon Championships 2019, only losing to Rustizi, Seagroove, Ken Roleno Sagat. Now, Rustizi, he never stopped playing the game. I think he's the best player in the Midwest, basically the whole state of Michigan for CVS2. I remember the last year I played him in casuals. There was no tournament in 2018 Yumacon. He used Agru, Vega, Bison Blanca, and I played him 10 games, and I could not figure him out. And in 10 of those games, he OCV'd me 3 times. So I was like, this guy's fucking too fucking good. This guy's on another fucking level. So there's no way I could figure him out. So he ran a tournament, and I beat that Vega Bison Blanca. But he had a Ken Roleno Sagat, and this motherfucker can roll cancel like a motherfucker. This guy fucking execution, short, super, just like that. This guy was fucking good. I could not figure him out after C Groove. And when he chose C Groove, the A Groove, I was even lucky to beat that shit. So that was very good. Second at Yumacon, losing to Rustizi, and the first of many Edmonton CVS2 challenges in December 2019, where I won 5-2 and 5-4, which was done after a local Ranbat tournament. I don't need to show the whole video, but I did record the losers finals and the grand finals of this. Alright, I did post that up on, my Psychochronic YouTube, not the Psychorarity YouTube. Just wanted to showcase some West Coast Canada CVS2. There's hardly any Canadian CVS2 activity being recorded, and the highlight video, to which I have VLC up here, all cropped up and ready.
Oh man,
Lunch parry. That was hard as shit.
That was fucking tough as fuck.
Oh, see? Just carry everything. What? Can't do shit.
Yeah, man. Alright, and that's the end of that chapter, nearly an hour. So that's the esports era, 2017 to 2019 of my time playing CVS2. And that's the end of that chapter, slightly over 55 minutes. Alright. Let's get on to the next chapter of this episode.
Here comes a new challenger. You must crush them.
COVID-19, the Ice Age, 2020. 2020, I don't have a team to use. I don't want to use P-Groove, Raiden, Kami, Blanca. So it's basically, I'm in a character groove crisis at this point. So, TTT Canada East Coast Championship, Canada East Championship 7 and final offline tournament from Toronto Top Tiers prior to COVID-19. 30 games with Jet.07. So they did a major. They did a mini major. It's called Canada East Coast Championships. It's basically a kickoff before the big home major in Toryukin. Alright, so I remember this day because I went to a fucking hype-ass drum and bass event, nightclub, at a fairly good nightclub. I didn't even fucking sleep. I just fucking partied. I fucking stayed up, had breakfast. I'm gonna show up to this tournament. But the thing is, it's like, I don't want to pay $45 just to enter CVS2, and if I win, okay, you get your $45 back. I'm not going to fucking do that. So I basically was just there to chill. I basically just wanted to just hang out with everyone. $10 spectator fee, and I didn't even enter Super Turbo. I didn't enter no fucking tournaments. I'm just there to fucking, I'll record, so I brought my internal recorder with me. They had a CRT, an HD setup with CRT video in, video out. Just give me the video out so I don't have to use the splitters. I have like my own USB flash drive, and I just want to record casuals with Jet.07 because I was already planning to go to Edmonton just for a small little, March vacation before I come back, and then COVID happens. You're basically trapped in Edmonton for 5.5 months. So I recorded 30 games with the Jet.07. That's on my YouTube. I just needed some warm up in the game. There's no one that wants to play me because everyone that I know, that they're all going to play Super Turbo casuals. They didn't even bother to enter the tournament because $45, 35 venue, 10 entry. I'm not going to do that. So I recorded 30 games with the Jet.07. So that's it right there. So 13 sets with mini Bach throughout 2020. So as I said, I was in vacation in Edmonton, where it's like, okay, COVID-19 happens, global pandemic, you're trapped in the other side of Canada for basically a minimum of 3 months. I was there 5.5 months. So, I just want to just chill out and fucking hang out and play some games. And back then, this was before Fightcade 2. There was Fightcade 1, but the problem is like I didn't have a wired connection at the time. I had to use wireless, and it was not really pleasant on top of using a laptop with, just a regular office laptop and not getting, a decent, type of setup where, with a, fairly okay graphics card. You can't play CVS2 back then. So it's like, okay, so 13 sets with Mini Bach, and in order to make this happen, he works 60 hours a week, and there was no COVID vaccine back in the time. So it's like, let's plan something out. The first bus leaving my neighborhood is 5:30 in the morning. It takes me an hour and a half to get from southeast Edmonton to southwest Edmonton. So I'd be at his house 7 in the morning, and we'd be playing a lot of games, be it CVS2, Anniversary Edition, or Alpha 3. Sometimes we'd play 200 games of Anniversary Edition. Sometimes we'd play 5 first to 7s in CVS2. So, like, I'm lucky and fortunate enough to play some online games during, an entire lockdown. So, let's see. Yeah. So, I recorded a lot of CVS2 back then during the pandemic, and even live streamed some of it. So, it's all in my Psychochronic YouTube channel, not Psychorarity, and, managed to, to play a lot of first to 5s, first to 7s, 100 games random select. We'd be chilling, just wanting just to play some fucking games. I mean, that's all. So I have 2 highlight videos here, and I have it on VLC, and we're going to watch all 24 minutes of it. So there you go.
Is about to explode. Fight! For broke. Fight! Sneaky surprise attack at the start of the round. That's what we like to call
Alright, and that's 24 and a half minutes of basically the Ice Age, of me having to wake up at fucking 5 in the morning, take the 5:30 a.m. bus, going from one end of town to the other just to play some CVS2 and have some, activity in the Facebook groups and live streaming it sometimes. Just, no tournaments for this game, no activity for this game, at least in this part of Canada. So, like, why the fuck not? Do something about it. So final Brett Cave 3 session before I move out of Mississauga. Before I move out of Mississauga for Edmonton in October 2020 with SJ. So what happens here is that there's a new blood player in the Toronto scene who goes by the name of SJ, who's primarily known for Marvel vs. Capcom 3, but he also plays a little bit of Street Fighter 5 on the side, and he does play almost every other game, at least to some little degree or not, be it Injustice or KOF 13 or Ultra Street Fighter 4. So it's like, okay, he did play a little bit of Super Turbo. We did team up at an NEC where they had Super Turbo as a 2 versus 2, and he's one of 2 players that I think, in terms of the whole Toronto area, GTA, Toronto, whatever, that can beat me in Vampire Savior. Cool. So, I wanted to do a final session before I permanently move out of Mississauga and go to Edmonton. Like, it was already planned out. I was trapped in Edmonton for 5.5 months. I come back. My roommate wants to move out. Okay, no problem. So this kind of does, gives me the realization I cannot live in this province anymore. I can't live in this city anymore. I'm going to, go all the way to the West Coast for now. I'm going to go there. So nobody wanted to meet me primarily for Super Turbo, so I invited SJ to come to my house. Yo, man, you said you wanted to learn CVS2, and I'll teach you this game. So I already have the 2 YouTube links already up here. This is the first time I've ever streamed out of my house, out of my Android cell phone, and I streamed it to the CVS2 Facebook groups. And we ran a session that he came over at like 10 p.m. He didn't leave my house until like 5 or 6 a.m. because we did play some Super Turbo after that. So I don't need to play the whole 4 hours of this video and almost an hour of this video. But I just wanted to teach the kids some CVS2. You'll learn a lot more than me in 5 hours than most people will teach you within 5 months. So, you're teaching a new blood CVS2, and that's pretty good. Like, why the fuck not? Hand over some knowledge to the new generation. And this kid was pretty serious, so why the fuck not? I broiled a couple pizzas, we smoked a little bit of weed, and that's all cool. Streaming some CVS2 and Super Turbo. Final session in this house, Brett Cave 3, before I move out a month later, November 25, to Edmonton, Alberta. So, there you go. So... And, outro. Finn. Well, that was pretty long. Thank you so much for enjoying Rarity Talk Episode 14, My History with CVS2. And I have my Fightcade link here, Psychochronic, Twitch link, Psychorarity, because I always stream Fightcade every chance I get on the weekdays. I don't mind playing CVS2 against anyone. All you have to do is just message me. As long as you're not a wireless connection, and as long as you're at least 2 bars Fightcade connection, that's not wireless, I don't mind playing you in a set for like about an hour or so, which is pretty cool. And yeah, this chronicles my entire history in CVS2, from going, starting off as an online warrior with older arcade roots, and having to learn the game ass backwards because you're practicing on the irrelevant version, going 0-2 at locals before Street Fighter 4, and then years later, trying to make up that loss, traveling, playing in Japan, playing in the US, playing in Western Canada, even during COVID-19, why the fuck not? So that is episode 14, My History with Capcom versus SNK2. So what do we have here? So with episode 14 in the books, I don't know what I'm going to do for episode 15. I have so much that I'd like to go through, but there's so many hours in the day and so many days during the month, it's very hard to make time for this. So yeah, that is Rarity Talk episode 14. I hope you enjoy what I do. I hope you appreciate what I do, because there's no one else in Canada that can do some type of vlog or show or podcast to this extreme that chronicles their own history. Enjoy the weather, enjoy whatever events that are, coming up on the horizon. Don't get COVID, and I'll see you when I see you.